The final two shape tools that we're going to be working with in this chapter are the polygon tool and the star tool. And I saved those for last because they both function much the same way, and also they have the most options out of all of the different shape tools that we've dealt with so far. So as you're looking here on my screen, I actually have this example set up of all of these different types of polygons. These are not drawn with individual tools. This is all drawn using the exact same tool. And so I'm going to show you how to do that now. We have also inside of our artboard panel over here, we have several different artboards to work from. So what I want you to do is open that up and just double click on artboard number 2. Artboard number 2 is going to take you directly over to the right to a blank canvas where you can start to draw some polygons. And so I'm going to click and hold over here on my toolbar and find the rectangle tool. And you might also want to look down in there and find the polygon tool. I just set it back to the rectangle tool because that might be the last tool that you had used in there. So click and hold on where the rectangle tool is and find the polygon tool. Once you have that polygon tool selected, what I want you to do is just hold down the shift key on your computer, click and drag out a shape. Now, chances are as you're drawing out, it's going to look something kind of like this. You're going to have a hexagon-like shape coming out on your artboard. And that's exactly what you want by default, just this hexagon. You'll notice that I'm able to add or subtract sides to the hexagon really easily, and I'm doing that with my keyboard. I'm just tapping the up or down arrow keys as I draw. So I get this hexagon by default, but I can easily turn this into a triangle just by tapping the down arrow key, or I can turn it into an octagon very easy by tapping up on the up arrow key as well. So what I'm going to do once I have the shape that I want, in this case I'm going to go all the way down to a triangle. I'm going to get it where I want it and release it just like that. And I'll just move it into the document window so you can see it. Don't worry if yours is not the same color as mine right now. That's totally fine as long as you have a triangle somewhere on screen. Now I want you to take this same tool and I want you to come out and I want you to draw a square. That's just going to add one side to the triangle. Then move that down. And then we'll come right back over here and we'll increase the sides here to a pentagon. And then let's draw out one more here. And each time, all I'm doing is holding down the shift key and then tapping the up arrow key one time to add a side. So you get the idea of how that works. And there's all those shapes that we had right there. And you could do the bottom ones as well after this movie's over. Just go in and start practicing so that you can see exactly all of the sides that you're able to create here. I'll draw one more shape just so you can see the possibilities are literally endless. I can tap on the up arrow key as many times as I want. Eventually it's going to look like a circle, and you're just going to get to the point where you're no longer able to differentiate between the sides, and you can go all the way down to a triangle. You can't go any lower than a triangle because anything lower than a triangle is just two lines on your artboard. Okay, so we've got those done. Now let's go down here and let's look at the stars. The stars are a little bit of a different story. You can see here we have all different types of stars. We have fast stars, skinny stars, stars with 6 sides, 7 sides, stars with multiple sides that we can't even count. And so how do we then create all of these using one single tool? Well, we're going to use a lot of modifier keys while we are drawing. So go over to your artboards now, and in your artboards, just double click on artboard 4. That's going to take you over to the blank canvas over by the stars, and then switch your tool from the polygon tool to the star tool. Now, by default, when you're drawing with a star tool, it's probably going to look something kind of like this. By default, it's going to look a little bit fatter and just going to look like an ordinary star. You can hold down the shift key to place that anywhere on your artboard, doesn't matter. Now, in order to draw this second shape, which looks a little bit more normal, has the straight edges, a little bit more of a pointy end. It's not quite as chubby as the other one over there. Let's go ahead and take that one and draw it out. So let's click to draw out a star. Then let's hold down the shift key to make sure we're drawing it straight up and down. Then let's at the same time, we're not letting go of our mouse or our keyboard during this. At the same time, hold down the command key on the Mac, the control key on the PC. As you're holding that down, draw outward. And you see how the points of the star begin to sort of elongate themselves. Once you get it to kind of a normal star range, the final step, I want you to hold down the Option key. So right now, you are holding down the Shift key, the Option or Alt key, and also the Command or Control key. So depending on what operating system you're on, you're holding down Command or Control, Option or Alt, and the Shift key, and you're drawing out this quote-unquote perfect star. And once you have that drawn out, you can release all of those together, and then there is your star. Now let's draw this little extra fat one right there. Let's grab our star tool, hold down the shift key. As we're drawing out this time, just hold down the command or control key and then go inward. And you can see that you can draw that little fat star. Then if you wanted to, hold down the shift key, let go of the command or control key, and then continue drawing out. That's going to allow you to finish off that star and make it just like so. The final star here, the little starfish looking star, let's draw that out by holding down the shift key. You'll notice every time we start to draw a new star, it remembers the settings of the last star we drew. And the only way to override that is to change it as you're drawing it. So what I'm going to do is hold down the command or control key, and I'm going to just elongate these extra long, making them into a starfish shape. I'm using my command or control key. I'm going to let go once they get as long as I want them to, and then I'll resize it down till it's just about that big. Then I'll let go of my mouse and let go of the shift key, and there we go. So there is that star right there. So we're doing pretty good now. Now let's add a point to the star right here. Let's grab the star tool. It's going to draw the same type of star we had last time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a point to this as I'm drawing it by tapping the up arrow key. So there's my extra point. I'm going to then use the command or control key to sort of fatten it back up. And then I'm going to hold down the shift key to make sure it's drawing a perfect shape. I'll let go of the command or control key. So right now all I have is the shift key held down. And if I want those sides to be straight, I can hold down the option or alt key. Then I release, and there's my 6-pointed star. Let's draw another one here, adding another point to the star, just to show you that you can add more points. And then finally, let's draw sort of a starburst shape. Let's click and drag out a star, and let's just add a whole bunch of points. If you want to make it kind of a fat starburst, you can, or you can hold down that command key while you're drawing, and you can make it an extremely skinny starburst, totally up to you. And then this final really, really skinny one here, just come over here, click, hold down the command or control key, stretch it way out like that, and then let go of the command or control key as you're drawing, hold down the shift key to shrink it back down. Kind of draw that little starburst pattern like that. So there we go. There's all of the different types of stars you can draw, along with the many different types of polygons you can draw. As you can see, these are two of the most versatile shape tools in the toolbox, so be sure to familiarize yourself with them. Practice here on these practice sheets that I've given you, and hopefully you'll be well versed in creating these types of shapes as we start to build on this and create more complex artwork in the future.